Karo. Chuma. Lelo makamolo pinakamo nalemie. Lelo pitumalo pikonsana manabaye. Namoy kumebisa zoto na manzaka nalemie. Mario nalemie. Kene papa ngarabaye yo. Mario nalemie. Kene papa ngarabaye yo. Oh Mario kosala yote chuma. Lelo makamolo pinakamo nalemie. Lelo bitumalo pikotwana narabaye. Naboy kumebisa zoto na manzaka nalemie. Mario nalemie. Kene papa narabaye yo. Oh Mario. Je t'aime ma musique. Ozana yoka kayomoko. Mabala kutingana bomengo sengia komandenga nandimi. Mabala kutingana bomengo sengia komandenga nandimi. Mabandiko bimana ye, mabandiko menga ye monsieur. Magawa bimbi moto, akanisi biloko yanga ye. Mario nalemie. Kende papa ngarabaye yo. Oh Mario nalemie. Kende papa ngarabaye yo. Oh Mario. Cha cha cha. Paponti ngara pakolaka, sote koma sembe sembe. Oko bete ngara soka, lopina sa malati akase. Lobita ngora kopola, yoki minga ye. Mario nalemie. Kende papa ngarabaye yo. Hey Mario nalemie. Kende papa ngarabaye yo. Oh Mario. Cha cha cha. Dose. Ladies and gentlemen, wandugu wapenzi. Ladies and gentlemen, wandugu wapenzi. Hii wimbo inaitwa Mario. Mario iliimba na Franco de Tout Puissant OK Jazz. Mario iliimba na Franco de Tout Puissant OK Jazz.
We have CPF Financial Services. At this point in time, I'd like to recognize the presence of Mr. Raymond B. from CPF Financial Services. Thank you so much for coming, my brother. Asante tena sana. But then to speak on their behalf, please put your hands together for Mr. Joseph Lugaliki. Joseph, where are you? Great by choice. I like it.
Thank you very much, Bwana MC. Chief guest, all invited guests, all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm here to talk on behalf of CPF, but first I recognize my team, which is right there. Maybe you can give a shout. At CPF, we have very interesting way of partnering with most of you. I don't know if any of you usually talks or thinks about, now that I am in employment, what if tomorrow I do not have the employment? Has anybody ever thought about that? And if you have thought about that, what are the modalities in place that you are putting now that you're strong, that will rescue you when you do not have that particular employment or business? We are saying this. I can hear somebody saying pension. Pension is only available at age 60. But we are talking about eventualities like retrenchment. We are talking eventualities like total permanent disability. We are talking eventualities like the dreaded death and critical illness. What modalities have you put in place for yourself? Most of us are building empires for others. For example, you are educating your children, and your children cannot be used as an insurance towards your eventuality. At CPF, we have the solution for all those products. How do we do it? When you become our member, you seed off the eventuality while in employment, which becomes our problem. For example, in case you become totally permanently disabled, you are paid 3 times your annual salary to safeguard you against that. Ladies and gentlemen, I have said it again, and my brother here was saying he once lost a job. Ask yourself, if you lose a job today or tomorrow, what happens to your children? Will they survive? If you have. Lastly, as I conclude, and I'm just opening a discussion where we can discuss maybe later, or I'll be walking around the tables, getting contacts. We can engage more on that. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, this country called Kenya has got a vision. Your own institutions have a vision. But I'm asking you, as we sit here today, do you have a vision for yourself? A personal vision. That is, if you have your own personal vision, what is your business continuity plan for yourself? And that is why CPF is there. Thank you very much.
You know, of all the people who have come on stage so far, he's the only guy who wants you to get rich. Clap for him. Everybody else wants you to spend, he's the only guy who wants you to make. I like it. On behalf of MultiChoice, umemaliza? You're done? Clap for Ambrose as he comes. He's a Manchester United fan. Karibu Ambrose.
Hi, evening. Yes, as you've heard, my name is Ambrose from MultiChoice. I'm standing in on behalf of Justin. Now, let me just talk a little bit about DSTV. As you all know, DSTV, we are an entertainment industry. And more so, I want to talk about the World Cup. You've heard or you've read in many places that there are some guys who are saying they are yeah, rumors that they are the only people who are going to showcase the World Cup matches. Well, it's going to be a shock on them because with DSTV, you will be able to watch all the 64 matches. DSTV has dedicated 6 channels to show all matches. Double headers, no double headers. You'll all enjoy it on DSTV. We have a decoder called DSTV Explorer. With Explorer, you don't have to worry about not watching the game because you are at work. What you can do, you can schedule a recording. It records, you come back and watch it at your own time. It has a feature called Catch Up. Now, Catch Up, for those who don't know, it's a feature. It compiles for you. Let me give an example. We have programs that run from Monday to Friday. So Monday you've watched, Tuesday through Friday you've been busy. Come back on Saturday, press the catch up button, it compiles for you all those programs that you've not watched. Movies, series, kids, documentary, sports, name it. It's there. So you don't have to worry about missing a game on DSTV because somebody else says they're the only people who are going to screen it. DSTV, like I said, is going to show all the 64 matches. Thank you.
Mikala is also in the house. At this point in time, I'd like to welcome Phyllis Rono to speak on behalf of Mikala. Karibu sana Phyllis. You'll notice, Bage, that other people stage haraka. Phyllis, school fees utakula, sijali, it's all right. Tutajua next year.
Good evening. Hi, Kano. My name is Phyllis Rono. I'm the brand manager for Alchemy Brands Limited, also known as Mikala. Alchemy Brands Limited is the manufacturer of fast-moving consumer goods in personal care, specifically retail, cosmetics for the African hair and skin. So I know your big question is, what is Mikala? Mikala is a hair essential company that was established in 2014, but we later came into the market in 2015. So as you can see, we're still young in the market and we're still growing. Mikala offers a wide range of products such as shampoo, conditioner, treatment, pomade oils, styling gels, and braid sprays. So our products mostly focus on the mass market, and we have over 2,000 outlets all over Kenya, from the coast, Rift Valley, Nyanza, and so forth. So here in Nyanza, we have outlets in Jayraj, Shivling, Sports Ground, Super Cosmetics, and many more. We are also launching a skincare called Nuvera very soon, hopefully next month. So what makes Mikala special from other products? So unlike other products formed for cohesion hair, Mikala was formulated and tested for the natural African hair. It works well for both natural and relaxed. I know ladies will get when I say natural and relaxed hair. Men might not really get this, but it works very well. You buy for them. That is good. So one of our achievements also as Mikala, we won the Best Innovation Award in 2016 to 2017 for our leave-in treatment. This is also one of our best-selling products, and it was voted the best by our consumers. So the question, how many people have ever used Mikala before? By show of hands. Thank you. Okay, another question. How many people would like to try Mikala? Okay, now you're making my work difficult. So, for those who said they used Mikala, I'm interested, which product did you use? No? Specifically, which one? Anybody else? Sorry? Hair curl. So, for the two gentlemen, it's not from Elsie. So, this was, sorry, this is a small SKU, but we have bigger. This was the one that won the Best Innovation 2016-2017. It's the leave-in treatment. I don't think you'd use this, but you're free to give mama or kabebi. Sorry? Yes. You'll use it. Hair on your head. For the two of you. That is nourishing hair. So it's hair oil, sorry. So after you've gone to the barber, you can just apply oil. Yeah. Not for the shoes, please. So for those who have never used our product, all I can say for you tonight is take a chance, because you never know how absolutely perfect something could turn out to be. So as I conclude, I would like to thank William Kalo and his team Marketing Africa for the amazing support the opportunity that you've given us as Mikala. And cheers, and God bless you. If you want more products, you can see me aside. Thank you.
And the main sponsors today, I'm talking about Safaricom. Put your hands together for Mr. Hezekiah Oyugi.
Okay, my name is Acacia Yugi from Safaricom. Ezi, Jalango, can you relax? There's no NSC today. So, okay, I'm a regional sales manager, I manage Western Nyanza, but I'm here with my boss, George Ndeo, who is the head of department for the whole region. So I would like to invite him, come and say a word. Mr. George.
Good evening, everyone. There's something that has been forgotten here by Mikala. I don't know. So, whom do we give it to? So, I want to say that we are happy to be here with you this evening. We want to appreciate the support, or I would say the idea from Marketing Africa of bringing us together to have fun this occasion. For us from Safaricom, we believe in partnering with you for solutions, because we believe that is the only way that we actually transform lives. So we are going to move into the future. Chris, that table is very lively. I don't know what you've done to them. I like, oh, you're Kenya Power? Oh, that's why, that's why it's only in that corner where there's light. So summarily, I would say that for us in Safaricom, we believe in partnership, and we believe in partnering with you to provide solutions so that we transform lives. And in short, we say with that, when we come together, dreams are actually realized. And that is why we believe we are here, and that's why we keep on partnering with anybody that provides solutions to people. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Clap for Jalango, everybody. Come on.
Thank you so much, Chris Okenda. Wow, this is special, this is beautiful, this is amazing. I want to speak on behalf of a company that I work for, that I'm passionate about, not just as a brand ambassador, but as a champion of that company, and the people who have decided to scale the heights of the airways. Is that the word? Because the most daring move has been to make sure that a flight leaves Kisumu straight to Mombasa. From county 00042 to 00, and from 001 to 042. Nobody had ever thought about that route. As we speak, because of the marketing strategy that was put together for this route, I'm telling you, we are adding 2 more planes on that route. Yes, because each and every single Friday, we are fully booked as we go down to Mombasa. Guys are going for holiday. Then on Sunday, we bring them back. But we realize that there are people who want to leave on Wednesday and come back on Friday, or others who want to stay in Mombasa all the way to Monday. So we are adding a flight on Monday and also on Wednesday and Friday and Saturday. We are just working around it. The captain himself sends his greetings to the people of the great city of Kisumu County, and with me here today. And just to show you that Silverstone supports the Kisumu County and its people, Kisumu rugby team is officially sponsored, shirt sponsored for a tune of 3 million Kenya shillings by Silverstone. As we speak tonight, just tonight, the Kisumu All-Stars, the football club that is fighting to get itself to the top league, we just did another sponsorship of 1 million Kenya shillings. That is telling you that apart from the fact that we have flights coming down here, we also have the people of Kisumu at heart. So anytime you get to the airport or you are making a call or looking for a flight to take to any of our destinations, the first flight of choice should always be Silverstone, because this is Kisumu County. You don't arrive. What do? You land. This is Kisumu County. You don't arrive, you land. That's the way we do it at Silverstone. And with me here is the head of communication and marketing, Mr. Patrick Okech. Please join me on stage and say a word or two on behalf of our captain Somo himself. Karibu sana, Bwana Okech.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Patrick Okech from Silverstone Air. Jalango has already said most of the things that I could have said. Just to top about the other destinations that we fly. From Kisumu, we fly to Kunda. We also do Malindi, Lamu, Lodwar, Mombasa, Kisumu direct. As he has said, we're also going to introduce the extra flights for the Wednesday and Monday from Kisumu to Mombasa. For any corporate who have never boarded Silverstone, please, we humbly request you also to come and test Silverstone. Instead of you going to Jomo Kenyatta, please come to Wilson Airport. It's very convenient for most of the people. The fares are very reasonable, very affordable, and you don't have to drive all the way from Kisumu to Nairobi. Please come along and we support one another. Others, with these few remarks, I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I wish you all the best. Enjoy your dinner, the quiz night, and finally the dance. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Jambaka. That is how I normally refer to him. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be very, very brief because being the host, it will not be very prudent to eat into your time. I'm Weekly for Didi, standing in for Dan Kiveo. We welcome you to Acacia Premier Hotel wholeheartedly because left, right, center, this is the place. If you have issues with reconciliation, don't struggle any longer. Come here, get it on the table. Acacia Premier Hotel is the hotel of choice, both in Nyanza, Central, Western, name it. It is the simplest solution to your African hospitality. So this is the place to be. To be very precise, we have fully furnished, tranquil rooms, 94 in total. Rooms which are breathtaking. In fact, if you're sick, don't see a doctor. Just book an appointment to have one of the rooms right here and you are healed. So we all welcome you so much to Acacia Premier Hotel once again. And we thank Marketing Africa, Mr. Kalombo. We thank you so much for partnering with us in each and every event to ensure that the name Acacia is heard within the boundaries and even beyond, because this is now an international issue. We thank you once again, and just as I finalize, I want to challenge you a bit. I know after the event, most of you will be so tired. We have quite enough rooms for you. Why not try it tonight, and you'll try it forever. Welcome once again.
The reason we roll out these forums across the region is so that you can learn something for you as a person, to improve you as a person, so that you can perform better for the brand that pays your bills. So if you are going to tell me after tonight that there was not enough drinks, that will be a completely irrelevant discussion. I'll tell you, please, just keep it yourself. We publish Marketing Africa magazine. I'm sure that enough of you have been challenged to read the e-version. It has a lot of food for you if you are serious enough to accommodate it. To our partners, it is never easy to invest in such forums. There is no way this program shall sustain without partnerships. Please give a huge clap to all our partners tonight. Now tonight we bring Dr. Wale back to Kisumu. He has been here, we've been here with him. We've been in every other market with Dr. Wale. And the reason why we bring back Dr. Wale, aside from him being in demand, is that he has capacity to inject enough lessons even to the most bored. A clap for Dr. Wale before he stands. So he's here tonight to interface with you. I wish to ask that you open up your mind so that you can feed from the huge resources that he has. He's a great friend. He's simple, according to me. Maybe he's not to some of you. He's always willing to teach, to share. He's done a lot of free service for us and for many other people. A lot of us, when you become senior, you disappear from being available to occasions or people that need you most. I want to urge you, avail yourself to do something, impart knowledge. That thing that you do today, that you imagine is just a routine, it could be very boring to you. If you shared that with somebody else, especially the youngsters, it's a lot of lessons to them. Avail yourself. You can be busy in your office, spare some time, and empower our young people. We blame them that they don't know what they want to do, that they don't have patience, but we don't have time for them. We are not coaching them. And yet, they are the ones going to rule us tomorrow. A clap for me. Dr. Wale, welcome.
Well, good evening. It's such a privilege to be here again with such great minds. I've been so inspired by some of the things I have heard tonight. And I also want to really thank Kalombo. He's, I was listening to what he was saying, and many times what destroys people is their own success. And here's somebody who has stayed simple, who has just, you can walk past him and not know he's the one that has put all this together. And so I tell my children, choose your friends, don't let them choose you. And so Kalombo is somebody I chose to be a friend for life. It's amazing. So thank you. Thank you so much. So, thank you. I'm going to talk very briefly because I do know that we're here to have a good time and all that. But I want to, this year I went through something. Last year I went through some health issues. And I was out of circulation for quite a bit. And then I began to think very, very deeply about life and a lot of things. I said, then I lost my dad last year. So it was a tough one. But I began to think about a lot of things because, when you begin to hit some ages and you've been doing the same thing for like 30 years or so, then you get to a point, you actually ask yourself, what is it all about? And so I want to share with you some of the things that have been stirred up. Those of you who have listened to me at other forums this year know I've been talking about relevance. Because my big thing is, what's the point? When my father died, a lot of great stuff was said. And I said, what's the point in dying if you never lived in the first place? Or what's the point in dying if you lived somebody else's life? So let's talk about this issue of relevance. Somebody asked me, I've written 15 books, and I actually have a whole series because we're starting what we call a street university. So I have another like 15 coming out in the next few months. So that means I would have written about 30 books. Somebody asked me, why do you write all these things? I said, I never want to be forgotten. I want to keep writing things that will speak for generations. So the greatest threat to the progress of an intelligent person is their intelligence. And why do I say this? There's nothing like once intelligent, always intelligent. Because intelligence does not have any benefit if it does not make a connection. There's no advantage in being the brightest among fools. Neither is there any advantage of being the most intelligent amongst the ignorant. So, the Oxford Dictionary defines relevance as the quality or state of being closely connected or appropriate. Now, let me paint a picture that most of us are familiar with. Years ago, in Europe, you had these great cathedrals all over the place. And these were the places where the elite would go, worship. But over the years, you saw the cathedrals begin to diminish in relevance. And then there was, many of them were sold out. They became apartments, they became shopping malls, they became mosques, and all that. Now, while that was happening in Europe, in Africa, churches were springing up everywhere. Everywhere you went, you were seeing churches. And churches, we have the biggest churches in the world in Africa. Now, the most intelligent priests in Europe cannot compare, cannot understand how are people going to this place where they just shout. How are people going there? Priests wonder why people are flocking to a pastor who does not make sense. Now, it's not sense that draws people. Don't be mistaken. It is resonance. Being relevant. That's what draws people. Once the message from the pulpit stopped being relevant, it was lost. Patronage was lost. On the other hand, in Africa, what do we have? Huge churches. Now, what's the difference? You have a message of a God who will make your future better. Now, the message of a God who will make your future better does not resonate in a place where the government has made your future better. So now we understand it, however, resonates with a poverty-stricken society. So the way to deal with the threat of irrelevance is not to attack the relevant, but to recreate yourself for relevance. How relevant are you to your world today? People don't get paid because they are intelligent. People get paid because they are relevant. Relevance is not a function of your degrees. It's not a function of your big names. No. Because we see organizations that were big and came down. It's not a function of how deep your pockets are. Value never follows the irrelevant. So we need to be concerned about the shelf life of your current way of thinking. What's the shelf life of your current way of thinking? There's something I've called the circle of value, which is a two-way flow of value comprising of an inward flow of what is bringing value to you and an outward flow of what you are giving value to. You need to constantly ensure that your circle of value is expanding. Because if your circle of value is not expanding, your expiry date is very, very certain. If you don't understand the time in which you are living, you will miss out on the opportunity of that time. Now, a lot of times people have said insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. But listen to Wale's definition of insanity. Is bringing the intelligence of the past into the present and expecting it to work without making amends. Friends, there is nothing like I was intelligent, therefore I continue to be intelligent. And my father was a professor of medicine, a professor in one of the world's greatest universities. And here's a man, I told him, I said, if you continue practicing medicine the way you were taught when you were in school, you'll be a serial killer. Because everything has changed. So you are not relevant because you have the degree. You are relevant because your thinking connects with the time in which you are living. The continued success of any entity is determined by how connected it is in the context of its environment. And I'm laying a foundation. Success is the reward for relevance. And it's true across board. Now, let me give you a simple example to illustrate what I'm talking about. Why can't M-Pesa work in a developed society? In fact, we don't need to go far. I was in Nigeria. I come from Nigeria. And M-Pesa, it would be difficult for M-Pesa to work in Nigeria. Because everybody, including your mechanic, the person changing your tire, everybody has a bank account and an ATM card. And they can all move money from their accounts. So, that means, as great as M-Pesa is, if it goes into certain societies, it will not work because it is not relevant. So relevance is not a function of greatness. You may be great in an area, but if you're not making connection in another area, it's not going to work. Now, and this is where I'm going. Marketing fraternity. Even customer behavior has changed. The customer of yesteryears was ignorant, was patient, and had limited options. The customer of today is knowledgeable, is impatient, and has many options. Now, and I've always said, there's something that, when I read about people like Pythagoras and all that, they have Pythagoras' theorem, Newton's law of motion. So I too, I have my own, Wale's triangle. And one tip of Wale's triangle are the things that are known. Another tip are the things that are obvious. Another tip are the things that are comfortable. Most organizations make decisions within that triangle. The known, the comfortable, and the obvious. But guess what? Innovation never happens inside that triangle. And inside that triangle is where you have the most limiting expression I have seen in the corporate world. The industry average. Who wants to be industry average? So we sit down there. I don't know if there's any insurance company here. Insurance penetration in Kenya has been 3% since the beginning. And it will continue to be 3%. If I was told that it's now 2.7. Why? Because everybody is reading from the same script. Everybody is reading from the same script. So that model is dead. It has lost its relevance. And the insurgent is going to show up, and the insurgent is going to show up outside the triangle. Disrupt everything you know. So you have to be connected to the time you're living in. You have to be connected to the thinking of the age. If you're not connected to the thinking of the age, you lose your relevance. There were two gentlemen who worked with Yahoo. Now, Yahoo was the first introduction many of us had to the internet. Isn't it? Our emails were Yahoo or Hotmail. We had Yahoo Messenger. For the first time, you see when somebody is typing something on the other side. Then they had voice, they had video, they had all that. And they had two guys working there who said there is more. But you see, when leadership is frozen in their thinking, organizations cannot go forward because no entity can develop beyond the mental capacity of its decision makers. No entity. Whether government, no entity can develop beyond the mental capacity of decision makers. That's why we had a president in Nigeria whose name was Goodluck, and that was the only good luck the country had. So it is crucial for you, I think my big message for you is you need to constantly develop yourself because there's nothing like once intelligent, always intelligent. Read widely. I tell people I read 4 or 5 books every month. Because it is not a compliment when somebody sees you after a long time and says, you have not changed. That's an insult. That's an insult. That means they are saying your brain is stagnant. And if your brain is stagnant, you cannot contribute anything positive. Oh, is somebody hearing me today? Yes. Read widely. Invest in your mind. Not just in, funny things. And then surround yourself with current thinking. Don't be intimidated by current thinking. Learn from current thinking. I always tell the story about my daughter. I was watching a show with her on television, watching Top Gear, and my phone rang. And my daughter said, pick it. I said, I don't want to pick it. I don't want to miss this part. She said, then pause. I said, no, baby, it's television. It's not a DVD. She started laughing at me hysterically. She said, but you can pause. I said, no. This is not a DVD. So she laughed more, making me look like a mumu. You understand what I'm saying? Now, let's get it in context. The television, the house is mine. The TV is mine. The remote is mine. The decoder is mine. And the girl is mine. Is mine. Kabisa. Are you here? Now this girl is telling me how to use my own thing. Anyway, so I get up, I pick the call, and then I come back, and this girl takes my remote control. And and the picture stops. Then she begins to rewind. I said, Chineke me o, si wahala. Now, you see why, why I'm happy you are laughing at me? It's because somewhere today, somebody is laughing at you like that. Every time you travel, somebody is happy. Say, Mumu has gone to Nairobi. Okay. They are laughing at you. Every leader's tenure is determined by their relevance. The day you stop being relevant, even if you are still in office, you stop being a leader. You remain an office holder. And no leader, no matter how intelligent, can survive irrelevance. So I want to challenge you. And that is this. You need to do yourself a favor. Because history is very hostile to people who lose their relevance. History is very hostile. I heard Margaret Thatcher say something. She said, history is going to be very kind to me because I intend to write my own history. And I said, that's me. So I am going to keep developing myself, and I want to challenge you. You need to, one thing I do to myself very often, I work for myself, I've done what I'm doing now since 1990. But occasionally, I will apply for some international job somewhere. You know, and then they say, come immediately. I've gotten jobs in New York, in California, in different places. They say, come. I do that, listen, to convince myself and to prove that my thinking is still internationally demanded. Are you hearing me? I don't need their job. I have served as a consultant for the United Nations. I've served as a consultant for Google. I've served as a consultant for Oracle. I've served as a consultant for the biggest organizations in the world. But sometimes I just send an application. And then they call me. One in somewhere in Minnesota wanted me to be their chief operations officer, offering me about a huge package that was about $2 million in a year. But I looked at them and I was grateful and I said, you can't afford me. That's just the truth. When the prince says I'm a prince, he's not bragging, he's telling the truth. Muhammad Ali says it's not boasting if you can back it up. But I do that to make sure that my brain still has international appeal. Is somebody hearing me? You don't want to be a goldfish in a fishbowl when you can be a great white shark in the ocean. You're a goldfish. Everybody is telling you how beautiful you are. Meanwhile, you are a goldfish. If they throw you in the ocean, you know what will happen? If they throw you in the ocean, a shark does not need to look for, he just needs to open his mouth. And you are a goldfish, you swim in and out, and you don't even know you have been eaten. Is somebody hearing me? So elevate your life by elevating your thinking. Well, I don't want to be a goldfish and just be a local champion. Let me wrap up by telling you a story. I was in Lagos many years ago and I collected 500,000 naira from the bank. At the time when 500,000 was still something. Now, the highest denomination we had then was 50 naira. Now we have 1,000 naira. The highest we had then was 50. And on this particular day, they had only 20 naira notes. And I collected 500,000. There was money everywhere. The boot of the car, there was money. There was money. You know, we have this legalized armed robbery, also known as police checkpoints. So I was thinking, let this guy stop me and say, what do you have in your boot? I'll just say money with attitude. I felt like a very rich man. Is somebody hearing me? Then I changed the money into dollars and everything fit in my breast pocket. And that day I vowed, I will never be a local champion. Because money is money everywhere in the world. I've been to some of the wealthiest places on earth and I've worked in some of the poorest places on earth. What I noticed, in the wealthy places you have poor people begging. And in the poor places you have Mercedes-Benz dealership. Wealth and poverty are not the nationalities of any country. They are a state of mind. Is somebody hearing me? So I made up my mind. I refuse to be a local champion. That is why I apply for international jobs that I don't need. It is because I want to establish that fact that my mind is still relevant. So I want to challenge you. You see the people that celebrate you today? You know what they are celebrating? Your relevance. The day you stop being relevant, you will be amazed. When my business failed, I lost $6.3 million. Nobody was calling me anymore. My phone, there was no difference between when my phone was on and when it was off. Sometimes you actually look at it, is this thing working? I hit it. And you realize it is on. The world celebrates your relevance. Don't think they are celebrating you. So you got to keep being relevant by investing in your mind and surrounding yourself with relevant thinking. Thank you.
If there's anybody who's got a question for Wale.
You say shelf life matters of how currently you think. What if you don't have a shelf life while you're in business? That's one. And your circle of life, you say if it's not expanding, your expiration date is almost near. So what if your circle of life is thin? Or circle of value is thin?
Bill Gates said something. If you can lay your hands on a book called Business at the Speed of Thought, written by Bill Gates. Bill Gates said, everything we do in Microsoft will be obsolete within 3 years. So that's Bill Gates saying that. So he said, I hope that we change them and not, he says some young upstart is going to just take us out of business. Now, if Bill Gates could think that way, that means even if you are using it for 10 years, in their mind, they did not expect it to last for more than 3 years. Now, that is how to think. Anytime Gillette releases something, at the time they are releasing it, they already have created what is going to take that one out of business. So that's the way it is. If you don't, you need to get yourself to a point where you retreat so you can rebuild. I was doing something in Nairobi called Coffee with Dr. Wale. And when I started doing that, you know, it was just an idea. Let's get people together like this once a month and just talk and share knowledge. Then next thing, people began to do chai with so-and-so, coffee with so-and-so, and it became, I realized that the shelf life is over. So now I am hosting a convention in Qatar with about presidents from about 9 countries, and the government of Qatar, the royal family is hosting me. Now I dare those people who copied coffee to come with me to Doha. I dare them. You know, I'm starting a street university. You know, because again, why am I starting a street university? I realized that my daughter is in USIU and she's studying business, entrepreneurship, and not one of her lecturers has ever started a business before. And that's one of the challenges we're having. So, street university, the lecturers are the guy that sells spare parts in River Road, the guy that knows how to make it, lose it, make it again. Those are the guys. So I'm starting that. We're launching that first week of June. Now, those people that were copying Coffee with Dr. Wale, I dare them to come now. You know? So it's very important if you have stayed at the level of success. One of the reasons why Safaricom has done well. Let me tell you the reason why Safaricom has done well. Safaricom has constantly been recreating. Safaricom moved from telecom communications and all that. Safaricom is now a full-fledged, what's that word now? No, it's not a telco. It's a, what's that word? Digital, not digital. IT, not IT. Something. But they keep changing. All right? They keep changing, and that is the key. You know, Yahoo didn't change, they blew it. A lot of companies that don't change. So that thing of shelf life, if you see that you are going on for too long, I do not believe in the philosophy of, if it is not broken, if you have continued for a while and it is not broken, please break it. Because that puts you ahead of the curve. Because if you are not the one that breaks it, the person that breaks it will now put you in the reaction mode. You understand what I'm saying? You will now be struggling and playing defense. But when I break it, then I stay on the offensive.
Out of the 4, kama unasema huyu abaki nione mikono.
abaki. Kama unasema aende. Thank you sir. Thank you sir.